Daniel Lippman with us. He is Politico's White House reporter, and he joins us now live from the nation's capital here. Daniel, great to see you and great to have you back. There still seems to be a lot of debate about whether the response to this pandemic has been, whether it's been partisan or not. When you look at sort of what the New York Times has compiled by seeing that, yes, blue states have been hit the hardest, but we're seeing a trend, an uptick in the number of infections when it comes to Republican states. Where does the issue fall from there?
I think the issue is that many Republicans, they don't see the great impact that the virus has had because it's not as much in their communities. And so if you look at some counties which have 80,000 people, sometimes there's only been 125 cases or only several deaths. And so they feel the economic impact, but they don't actually feel the hospitalizations. They don't know anyone who's been affected. And so they are the most skeptical of these stay-at-home orders and also just the social distancing in general. You saw those pictures in Florida and other places. They want America to get moving again. And they are more reluctant to give up their liberty to protect people's health.
When you look at Trump's base support, do you think that he is singularly focused on the economy as part of his reelection, and he's not looking at the fact that a lot of his voters are older and they're the vulnerable population in all of this?
I think he's looking at the sum total of his voters, and the majority of his voters, they want to get America up and running again more quickly than Democrats. And so I think he is just kind of betting on that and prioritizing those people sometimes more than those older voters at risk at this pandemic. But I don't think he is totally discounting the health impacts. He has kept on Dr. Tony Fauci, the top epidemiologist, and Dr. Deborah Birx, and they put them back on TV recently, even though they had been taken off for several weeks. And so I think there is a concern. They don't want a second wave either, but they just differ in terms of Democrats and how serious this has been. And they don't want to talk about the death toll hitting 100,000 people today.
Daniel, when you look at some of these key battleground states, you certainly have Michigan there, but also North Carolina. The president over the weekend threatened to pull the Republican National Convention out of Charlotte, North Carolina, if the governor there didn't agree to have the venue at full capacity. When you look at, I guess, key battleground states and how these political decisions are factoring into this, how do you think all of that plays for 2020?
Well, it's a mixed bag because I don't think in any scenario you're going to have a packed convention either in North Carolina or somewhere else, because public health experts would very much caution against that. And so I think if you look at places like Michigan, they are they approve very much of their Democratic governor, Gretchen Whitmer, who is a potential VP candidate for Joe Biden. And Trump has not seen a surge in his approval ratings like President Bush did after 9/11, where approval went to 90%. And so President Trump has only seen a couple points increase in his poll numbers. He is more trusted on the economy, and there are folks who think that the economy will be up and running and having a high growth rate in the third quarter. But this is those battleground states. He's tied in Georgia. He only has a few points advantage in Texas, and those are deep red states. And so there's a lot of worry in the White House.
Daniel Lippman with Politico, great to have you back. Really appreciate it.